Hello and welcome. We have with us today Dr. Eula Clarke. Welcome, Dr. Eula Clarke. Good to
Thank
see
you.
you. She's written a book called Call to Elevate. Tell us about yourself and tell us about the book.
Oh, to tell you about myself, you'd need a whole year. My name is Dr. Eula Clarke, honorary doctorate, which was given to me for the things I do within my community and how I support community to bridge a gap, and especially women to actually reach and break down the glass ceiling. So that honorary doctorate was appointed to me, I think it was about a year now. So I'm grateful for the person who saw what I did and then felt that, the question she asked was, how come you not got honorary doctorate? I said, I don't know. She said, okay, I'll put you forward. And she said it normally takes longer, but within a week, I had an email. She goes, check your email, check your email. And I checked my email and it was there because I've been doing all of this since my time in the bank. My time wasn't around sitting behind a desk. It was going out and understanding the community that you serve, so that when they come into your branch, it's like they're coming home, and you have to make
Mm,
them feel that way because it's not just about the business we offer. It's a service and the touch and connect that you give to those people. What do they do?
mm,
Go down there, go to Eula, refer you, and they do that. But you asked me about me. I was born in the Caribbean. I came to from Jamaica when I was 9. Obviously, your parents leave you with your grandparents. And then my mom came first, my beautiful mother. She was a seamstress, so she sewed and made the money to be able to pay for her passage. And then when she was over here, she stayed obviously with family, with friends that were from the same area that she was from in Jamaica. And then later on, dad came. So you know the process. It's a rented room accommodation. And then later on, we came. So my sister and I, and then my mom was pregnant when I came. So I've got there's 4 of us. I'm the eldest of the 4 girls. And so when the family started to get bigger, dad is always a family person. So he know that he has to look for a bigger place. He has to move us out of
mm.
that room. And so down the bottom of the road was a house that was for sale. And then he inquired about it. We didn't know he was doing all of this. Suddenly, we're moving house into this new home now. Massive house. We still have it. But what I like about my parents is the foresight of planning, saving, and looking into the vision of things that they're not seen yet, but that's where they want to go. In
Mm.
5 years, it took them to pay off their mortgage, right? Because that's
What?
how they were. 5 years. Can you imagine it? Some people still haven't got a property yet that they own. So in 5 years, but what that's done for us as girls, the girls, is that we follow the same disciplined. So we've all
Mm,
got our own place. And we're all kind of on there striving, but we're okay. We're all okay. They're now deceased. But what our parents have done is left a legacy that if you
mm,
were consistent in what they were doing and you follow that sort of process, you would still have that same discipline to be able to drill down into the kids. Now I've got one
mm.
daughter. Well, she's a grown woman now. She's a barrister, a lawyer by profession. She studied here and then she went over to the States to do her master's. And I watch myself, the same discipline. I don't have to tell her to do her homework. I don't have to tell her to do anything when it comes to study or getting up to go to work. If she kicks off at 9, she's up by 7. Right. Discipline right through to the day. All I do is provide the breakfast and the dinner, yeah. But she's well mannered and she's a professional through and through. I'm married. I've been married now for 46 years. My husband is 10. We just come back from the Caribbean in
Well
September,
done.
celebrating the anniversary, which was in September. My daughter's birthday in September, my birthday in September. And
Mm.
so it was my 70th birthday in September. Yeah. But I feel good. I don't feel that age. And I give it up to God for that. Yeah. And
Yeah,
so we,
well
we,
done.
we just missed a storm because we left there at the end of September. So, we've still got
Oh,
family and friends
wow.
that, but they're
How are
okay.
they doing?
They're okay. Some of them have not been touched too badly because they're out of the zone. Um, and also I keep in touch with the hotel that I stay at, and they're okay. They're telling me that,
Okay.
everything's good.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
they're okay.
That's
And a
great.
couple of
That's
friends
good.
down there, so we touch base with them. They're okay. We're just waiting now for kind of Western Union and that to be open so we can probably send them some change. And that's it.
Okay,
So
okay.
you talk about my background. I'm originally from Birmingham, like I said, got married to a Londoner and moved to London. That's where Louise was born. Yeah, and I've been up here ever since. Love it because I used to be a trained model. So this I used to come up and see my
Mm.
friends. And that's where I met Den. So yeah. And that's the journey. The journey continues. And so my background is banking and finance, and I got a transfer from Birmingham to London, still in the bank, yeah, until I retired 8 years ago. So both parents are now deceased. It was their anniversary last month. Mom's 4 years now, she's deceased, and my dad's about 15 years now, yeah. So we
Okay.
continue. We continue. Yeah.
Tell me about your book, Call to Elevate.
The book is A Call to Elevate. And the reason for this book was somebody approached me. Amir actually approached me. He's an author, was living here, but he's moved overseas now. And he said, we were in sort of a book club. Have you ever thought of writing a book? And I said, yeah, but I haven't really got the time. He said, no, no, no. Let's get it out and put it to paper. So we got together and was fanning this out. We then had about five of us in a book club. And we're thinking of the title, and the title he had was Passion or something. And I go, I'm not really feeling that. So I went to bed, slept on it, and then I jumped out of bed at 4 o'clock, and I had the call to elevate. And I said, that resonated really well with me because elevation means growth. It means you're
Mm.
pushing for something, you're reaching for something until you get it. So the call to elevate is like a call to action. You've got to take action. It's your kind of end of the line when you post something, you go, what's your call to action? So the call to elevate it encapsulates a lot of different things that I'm about. So I'm about women empowerment. And a lot of us reach the top and we don't look back to pull the other person up. Even on the ladder, you can't stay at the top of the ladder for long. You have to it's how you bring other people up to be your support mechanism. And that's exactly what this is about. It breaks it down into different categories of things like um, know your why and setting goals and creating a vision, the time management and daily routine, personal development and mentorship, and leadership and the heart of overcoming challenges, giving back, and inspiring others. And again, something or structuring your own success and your final thoughts and dedication. So the giving back factor is about giving back to the community, looking at your goals and how do you then set the goal so it's achievable for yourself, but not too out of range? It's setting smart goals, so the structure is there for that. The biggest part for me when I come to look at my why, it was why did I do it? And I think because mom's gone, it was like filling a gap too. Because I used
Mm.
to look after mom, even though I'm in London, mom had carers and she was cared for in her own home by the family and the carers. So it was just I felt like I need to fill that vacuum. So putting myself into the book and putting my thoughts out there and also supporting other ladies who was, I was their business coach and strategic partner. So that took a little bit of the time away. When I looked at my why, and the reason for my why, let me just, because this always resonated with me, let me just tell you this bit. So the why, I asked myself, why am I doing this, right? So know your why. And it says, um, leading on the importance of finding your purpose, right? So I asked myself my why. And it says here, the why for me was looking after my mother. And then what do I do now she's gone? And it was like a voice said to me, use the time that you have to help others. Yeah.
Mm.
And I said, okay. So the skills I have can then be able to share with others. I don't get paid for
Mm.
it at the moment, but I think I need to charge. But that was really powerful. And so let me just say this. It said, my mother left me void and open, my heart and mind to the profound mission of serving and caring for others. It became my why, the driving force that led me to seek ways to make a meaningful difference in the lives of those around me. This transformational experience has shaped my path, inspiring me to turn my grief into purpose and to carry forward the loss and the kindness my mother instilled in me. That's why. Yeah, that's what it is.
Wonderful.
Yeah,
And you carry that on into your consultancy and you work with women and small
yeah,
businesses?
yeah. Work with a lot of
Mhm.
ladies. There's a lot of ladies out there, not just our own color, but you've got a lot of diverse background of ladies who are looking um, to be in a community. That's what they like. The community impact of gathering together. It's like a gathering, yeah, with the ladies. I'm also part of what you call a G100 woman on the educational wing. And that means that we look after the humanitarian side. It's a mission million. The lady who forms this is in India, and also part of the UN Women. Every year, UN Women renew itself, and then we decide to join. But it's the same kind of thing, looking after the global impact of how we can create change and impact on community and women that are struggling. And those are one of the biggest thing because we all come together. I have a group of ladies that come together and we do personal development or training around that. They help each other. If anything's going on outside of our own remit, they will go into different community or event, and then we come back and we feedback. If I know anything that's happening, we kind of engage with each other. A lot of mentoring
Okay.
going on. Yeah,
Okay, so tell us about your time in the bank because you worked in one of the big three banks, didn't you?
yeah. I was part of the bank when when I left school in 1979. I went for my interview in the bank in Birmingham and I got the position, but I then decided to go back and further my education. So they kept that open for me. I don't think they do that now. So they said, come back when you're ready
Mm,
to start. So I did that and I started in Birmingham, normally around the back, and then you move to the front of office. But I then transitioned then to London because I met my husband is from London. So we got married and then bought a place in Birmingham. Then after 5 years, we decided we needed to come back to London. Yeah, wanted to come back.
okay.
Yeah, and my parents were, oh. But however, from that, we transitioned back, got a transfer into London. But the thing with how you work in up north to here is completely different. Because when you work in Birmingham, you're very particular, you're meticulous. Here you're okay, but okay is not enough for me. So when I came, retrained everything, and I done the front of house and I've done the cashiering and set up and run customer service unit for the organization. And we were like the prototype for training. That was kind of everybody from across London came to see what we were doing and how we were doing it because it was a thing that they were doing inside the branches. But now they've taken it out and they've centralized that because every customer that you look after, you probably had about 5 or 10 satellite branches that you do the customer service for them. The time was challenging but rewarding. I moved rank, I moved through the paces. I was assistant vice president for the organization. And then I also was Woman of the Year for the organization with the
Ooh,
things
wow.
yeah, with the things I've done in the community. I'm a community person. I don't sit behind a desk and wait for people to come in. I would go out and let people know who I am and why I'm here and how I can help them. And
Mm,
anything else extra we can do. We did a lot of community training, skills. We did money skills, life skills. We go out into the community and do this inside the school teaches the kids how to do and prepare for assessment day, right? When they were going to look for a job interview training, we would do that also. And we'll also support when they do any fundraising, like their freshers fair or with the university and the school. And also support the parents. So that we did. And that helped to bring clients back into our own branches because we've done the outreach, we've done the give back, we raised money for Macmillan, all of that sort of, and the bank would then support that as well. Is
mm,
us
mm,
went out and do all of that. So as a group, we all go out, and then at the end of the day, when the community come, can you support with this? We will then find out if it's okay to do, get the regulatory compliance, and then we'd all take part in that. But what I've learned though, the discipline from because I've now retired from the bank, 8 years I've retired, the 43 years of being in the organization, it's taught me so many skills that if I could package it, I'll be a walking robot, right? The skill set. the discipline around regulatory compliance, governance, all of that, the customer service, how you deal with people, relationship is core. That part of it for me is, it's what makes me. The listening, it's understanding what you hear, not what you see. Yeah, because there's two different connotation right there. And it's looking at what customer needs are and how you match those needs to what you have in-house to support them. If you don't have it in-house, it's how do you support them outside. You may know somebody who might be able to help them. And it's looking also at the financial lens. We don't push products onto people. We find out what is it that we can help them with. I remember when I was in the first branch was when I went in and there was like a desk at the front. When you come through the doors, you have what you call an inquiry desk. And for me, I thought, no, that was an obstacle in itself because clients were going there instead of coming to see the bankers who were sitting at the front desk, the people who do, the products for you and find out what your needs were. I got that removed. I questioned it and I said, I don't think it serves a purpose because that desk now is blocking customer coming direct. If they have an appointment, they should be able to come and get checked off for their appointment, be seated with banker, and then the bankers do the finding out. But the other way was they were coming in, going there to get their address changed. Yeah, thank you. You'd have gone. Why did they want to change address? Did they buy a property? Have they moved? Because of what reason? Are they enlarged in the family? That inquiry should be at the inquiry desk where you sit down with an appointment book and we thoroughly follow through. So
Mm.
process is a big thing as well. There's so many disciplines. You just can't package it, but it comes out when I'm dealing with people. I think, I got that from the bank. It's imprinted in me now. I can't change who I
Mm.
am. Yeah. Even if I
Yeah,
want.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think that customer service angle is really important for growing a business, and you proved it in within a bank setting. So
Yeah.
you were called into problem banks where people were having difficulties with customer service.
Yeah, I was
Tell
I
us
was
about that.
called in. I was called in when they decided to create the customer service unit, which was what it was called. So we had a bank of processes. Customer would pay their checks, over the counter. It would come to us to be processed, the processing team. Then you had a bank of people who deal with the phone call coming in. That's the customer service unit. So the call would come in. There's a way you have to position how you speak. There's that criteria of following the regulatory and the process. They'd call in, you're shown how you smile first before you answer the phone because that comes out in the way your voice is tonation. So you'd smile, good
Oh,
afternoon.
really? You
Yeah, you'd
smile when you
answer.
answer the
Yeah,
phone.
before you
Wow.
answer, the phone rings. You make sure that you've got yourself positioned in how you
Really?
place. Good afternoon, good morning. How can I help you? You have to say your name and where you're at. Yeah. And then they'll go through the spiel. But if you picked up the phone and you didn't smile, what happened? You'll go, oh, good afternoon. Yeah, you see the difference? Yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
That's what you do. So then what they do then, we were back office, so no customers was able to come into the service unit. It was mainly phones and paper. But we did well because the way the calls are measured as well means that if the customer feedback was not so good before I went in, and I wanted to know why. So for me, then I would actually find out when we're calling, is there anything we can do to improve the service? This is when you're
Mm,
back of house. When we move into retail now, into the front of house, and the service, you're still measured on how we treat customer when they come into us. So the thing was, I needed to find out because I find that I was in most of the areas where there was improvement needed. So I would find out from the customers at the front, can you tell me what is it? I've just taken over. I have to introduce myself. Would I need to do to change how you've been served? So we created like a little feedback questionnaire that we gave them to complete. And we then gathered together and implement the changes. So we started to implement the change and where we moved from 50%, we were banging 90, 100% of service improvement. So we were on it. We're on it. It's how you make people feel when they come through your front door, no matter what it
mm,
is. Yeah. They'd want to
yeah.
stay, they refer people to you. They'd want to engage with you. You don't give them that time of day or pretend like they're not there. What do they do? Yeah. And I experienced that myself when I just come back from the Caribbean. We're in the restaurant and you're asking for something and they pretend like they don't hear you. And you know me, I'm a stickler on customer service. No, I'll tell you what, I'm a stickler on customer service. So the manager always say to me, when you're here, you're my eyes and ears for customer service when you're here, right? And
mm,
so I
mm,
said, hold on a minute. I went to the one who was in charge of the buffet. I said, I've just asked for a spoon and he pretend like he didn't hear me. Oh, and he said, "Oh my God, we need to do something about it, Miss Clark. We need so much help to sort that out." I ended up going through my thing and drafting out like some sort of a plan of structure how customer service should be. It took me 10 minutes, right? I go to my chat
mm,
and I started to I said, "You got chat? Let me show you." And he said, "Email it to me." I emailed the actual process of how you welcome your customer. Your platform that you're standing on while you're in the buffet is your actual you're on stage. There shouldn't be any noise or jittery. You're on stage, so you should take your conversation to the back. And when
mm,
you're there for the customer. And he
mm,
went back. There was a checklist. There's everything. I now have him on my phone as a mentee, yeah. But
mm,
he's doing some of that with the guys, and I thought, And then when the next couple of days when I went back down to breakfast, oh, good morning, Miss Clark. I said, oh, what's happened here? He goes, nothing's changed. I said, oh, I know something's changed because you never called us by our names. You never asked us, would we like a drink from the bar? You've never done that before. I couldn't stop laughing because I know what the change was, but they didn't know it was from me. Do you know what I mean?
mm,
So they
mm.
started on that. But if you don't know, you don't know. That's the thing. If you're aware of what's gone wrong, you make the change. You make the things that you need to do differently.
Well, I think you should make this list that you gave to them. You should make it public.
I
Uh,
know.
a
But it was
charter
just
for customer service.
what's that? You want me to do a charter for customer service?
Yeah. You can do it for a restaurant situation, for takeaway
Anywhere.
situation, for a boutique, a shop. Yeah.
Anywhere. Because when somebody comes, it's what you call like a mystery shop. You walk into an organization and you know what you're looking for. They don't know who you are, right?
Mm,
You're looking at the cleanliness, you're looking for the surrounding. If there's pens display, you're looking to see if that's all stacked up.
mm,
If you're standing in say anywhere, if you're in the shop and nobody's approached you to see how they can help you, that's
mm,
bad. If you're standing
mm,
in the branch and nobody's approached you because you're probably looking, where do I go? There's no signage as such, or nobody's come to say, oh, good afternoon, how can I help you? You see,
mm,
do you have an appointment or is there anything else I can help you with? That's all they need. Yeah.
mm, mm.
When we used to
And
live
I've
like
got to say, I've experienced bad customer service, even in supposedly top establishments in the UK,
yeah,
where, yeah, you can be asking for a waiter and trying to attract their attention. And for goodness sake, they're looking everywhere else but at you. And then you start thinking, they know I'm here. Are they deliberately avoiding me or what?
but it gets you questioning yourself. Is it because you're black? Is it because you're a woman of color? They ignore you.
Exactly.
I don't care. I'm a human being, and I'm paying your wage. This is my message. I'm paying your wage. I deserve to be treated as a customer that's paying your wage, and I deserve that
Absolutely.
respect because I've walked through your door. If nobody came through your door, you'd be locked down. Yeah. So
Yeah. Yeah.
color don't come into anything for me. I don't make that be an issue for me.
Mm.
No.
Yeah. I hear you. I hear you. Okay. Now, you talked about your community work and that you've been doing this from since you were working full time. Give us an example of some of the community work that you do. You mentioned you do Damilola Taylor.
Yeah.
You do some work for them, the trust.
Yeah, well, I've been dealing with Damilola since 2005. It was just after he was killed. I used to deal a lot with Richard. He used to pop into the branch. We were ambassadors then for DTT. And we decided to when I say we, it was a group of us within the branch, decided now, it was coming up to his anniversary actually, the 27th of November. And we decided to put on a concert for him. Richard normally do a concert, a conference in the morning for people to come and lay down the guns and knives and so forth at the Barbican. And then we decided to put a church concert on, church in Peckham. It's myself and a guy called Bobby. So we started to plan and prepare all of that. We had gospel artists come from Birmingham to take part. We had a group called Full Corners to come and sing, and we had a couple of reverends come out. The mayor for that local area, and Southwark Hounds newspaper done the all of them newspaper was a memorial for the trust. So we put a concert on. It was on Sky News. We raised over £6,000 for the trust on his commemorative day. That was one part. And then we continue to still, anything we do, we'd raise fund and make sure the trust got that back. However, I lost contact with Richard. And I was decluttering, I think it was about a couple of years, 2 years or so back. And I came across a flyer we created. And I was going to throw the flyer away, like I was saying. And it's like somebody said to me, no, put that away. You're going to need that again. And I always listen to my inner voice. And as I put it in a plastic sleeve, lo and behold, I said, let me just call the number that's on the flyer. I picked up the phone, Richard. Eula.
Oh,
And then we never stopped since then. Right? We're back on again. No, what are you doing now? You need to be on the board. I said, I haven't retired just yet. Then when I retired now, you're retired now. Leave what you're doing. You have to be part of the board. I said, okay,
oh,
let me think on. So just before, because then every day we were speaking then. And I know it was, when he started to deteriorate. He said, I can't speak too long with you now because obviously things are getting too close to the bones. But once I then they put an advert out and he said to me, you need to apply because an advert's gone out. And so we applied. And I didn't get the interview till obviously then he died in the March. And so
oh,
after that, no, after that, because they had me on the list to be interviewed, but it had to stop because he was deteriorating.
yeah, yeah, of
And so I
course.
got interviewed
Oh,
in the March. But what happened then? What I didn't know for me, I did another thing for the trust. I did an afternoon tea at the House of Lords in
mm,
November. Again, that was the other anniversary, and did all the brochures. And we had about 50 people for a private tea in House of Lords. He went to the cemetery, came back with his daughter, and then he came back now and he turned around and he was explaining, the conversation was around how the event happened. But not only that, I felt it gave everybody there an understanding as to the background as to why. But it's like a release. But the thing I didn't understand, I was determined for it to happen because we had fundraisers, but gave us some money to actually do that. But it was a just for the tea. It was like for 2 or 3 hours. But the thing, he said to me, "You are so determined," and I said to make this happen. I said, "Yeah, but I don't know why. But I know why now because March and he died, isn't it? That was November. So okay."
mm,
But I've
mm.
always been there. I'm the board of trustees now. Yeah.
Okay,
So
okay,
I look after the fundraising element and events, and other things. I'm assessor trained, discipline trained through the bank. There's a set of skills. So I interview if anybody's coming on as a board of trustees, or we'll do that with
okay.
the members of the board, or anybody who's coming on to do any admin work. I do that.
Mm,
So I have a group of people who then help to fundraise for me, do the bid writing, and we go for bids so we can deliver more projects for the youth. And it's all about the
okay.
youth now. We're coming up
So
to
what kind of projects do you do for the youth?
We're doing some impact training that's been prototyped through the school. That was before I came on board. So we've done that now. We're looking at rolling that out to different schools. Harris Academy, I think, was where they rolled out, where they went in and did some CV skills, mentoring, and so forth. So now we're looking to capitalize on that now with different collaborative partners. And
Okay.
so we've got the anniversary on the 27th, and then we have another event that it's his birthday on the 7th of December. We're
Oh,
doing that. And then
wow.
next year we'll come into the 25th anniversary of the trust, which Richard set up with his wife purely for this. So
Is
there's
there an office
Hmm?
or is there an office or building associated with
There
the
is a
trust?
building in Peckham, the Damilola Taylor Trust. It's
Okay.
open a couple of days for the youths to go in. And, there's like a basketball court there. I haven't been there yet, but I remember Richard saying to me there used to be a basketball court there. the youth can go and do, and different things they can go and do within that centre.
Mm,
So they'd have to sort of book through the council because it's got Damilola Taylor Trust, Damilola Centre on the top written on. It's a big
okay.
building. Yeah. But
Okay.
that's there. So
Okay.
we pick up, I mean, the board of trustees now, we call this now our transitional period because Richard used to do everything. So this is now time for us now to be the front run. I mean, his son is the chair of the trust now that's taken over.
Mm,
But there's
mm.
still a
And
lot.
for those who don't know, could you say who Damilola is?
Damilola was the son of Richard Taylor who got stabbed whilst he was going to the library to do his homework. And on coming back from the library, he was attacked by two, I think it was two youth. And then they kind of attacked him behind the leg, so he bled out on the steps. And
Mm,
when he was a good friend of John Botiego as well, that family, the stuff.
mm,
And so John had left him, I think, as far as I can remember, to go to the library and then they couldn't see him coming, so he went back with his sister to pick him and found him bleeding out on the
oh,
step.
you're
Yeah. He
kidding.
was 10, but the thing for me, he was his vision and the way for a 10-year-old, he wanted to be a doctor, so his message was he wanted to, I can't remember the message really, but he wanted to help people in the world to make a difference, and he wanted to study medicine to become a doctor so he could
Mm,
help his sister. And I looked at him and I look how young he was and he's thinking outside of the box like that.
mm,
So,
mm,
but the trust is really, it's, for where we are now and the transition we're making, continuing that legacy. There's so many passionate people around, but I think for us, it's about collaborating with others to kind of make it, more impactful.
yeah.
So, and we've got some good people like Gary. Gary is actually helping us. Gary's been there for Day Dot with Richard, Gary Trousdale, and now Gary is actually um, dealing with the 27th at the private breakfast meeting we're having with 60 people. We've got Gary, we've got Leroy, myself, and other trustees, Olu, and now we've got a new lady we've just appointed, Puri, and Jeff. So that's the board right there. Yeah.
Mm,
So
okay.
we're well diverse.
Okay.
But there's other things I've done as well around. We went to Birmingham, Nottingham, Manchester, and London with different. We took we call it banking on a brighter future. Right, this was something they had internally. So we were then. I brought this to the bank, and they said, "Okay, let's go around and see what people are thinking to get people back into work. People who were, had babies and couldn't get back in, they're skilled, they need to upskill themselves. And so we did it in Birmingham. We had 200 people there, all women, which was led by Angela Bar. And we then had Birmingham Uni followed us and did a marketing brochure for us, a booklet with the finding. We then went to Manchester. We had 170 people, all women. We went to Nottingham, we had about 100. In London, we had about 50 plus. And all
Okay.
collectively, that report came to say the reason why we are how we are as women is the fear of speaking about the project to another woman. Yeah, because if they were fearful that their topics would be taken away, their idea.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
But I said no. The more you speak about it, the more you get further ideas to enhance what you're doing. Because if it's
Okay.
your idea and it's given to you, they can't deliver it the same way like you. Yeah. And I think that's what kind of block our community a lot.
Okay.
It's having that sharing skill. Yeah.
So you're moving on to dealing with some health products now. You're encouraging people to lead healthier lives. So tell us about the products you've come across that you are now pushing.
Okay, so for me, I would start with me getting into health. I'm diabetic as well, right? But I manage that by diet, so I'm okay at the moment. I used to study to be a naturopath in
Oh,
alternative medicine. I was doing that it was a 5-year course in Harley Street, and then the bank opened on a Saturday, so I couldn't do it because it was a Saturday 9 till 6. So I did a 3-year, 5-year course, but I understand my herbs. And when I couldn't study that anymore, I then come to an American organization that delivers natural products. So I was a
Okay.
member for that for 11 years and utilize their products, right? They're in America, but they ship to UK. And somebody shared this new company with me now. And they said, okay, we want you to open the UK because it's not in the UK yet. And it's from the Mexico and America and um, some other areas, but UK market they haven't launched yet. So we're looking to launch UK about November, latest December. These are back, and what I like about this, it's backed by doctors. Previous company wasn't. So the
Mm.
doctors created the products. They're all natural, organic, plant-based, right?
Okay.
And then made on their own premises. But what I like about it, and I'm not going to show the product, just what I like about it is they're small package, they're easy consumable, they're affordable, and they actually what might work on your body is different to how it works on mine because we're all individual. They're with the adaptogens, so it goes straight into your system and you have instant gratification. We then have a bot that you can ask the bot any questions regarding your health, or if you're lacking energy, the bot will come back with what you need from the actual organization. We have a scan machine, right? Just like a pulse machine. You put your finger in and it will scan the whole internal system of your body, how it's progressing, what's going on. And then it will give you 140 odd pages of report that you can.
Really?
Oh, Dawn, I tell you, when I saw that was no wonder I left. So
Oh,
it turned around and it gives you and then so you'd scan and you come back and you'd email that report to your client who you've just scanned. And then they will look at it. It will tell you your breakup into your cardiovascular, your liver, your kidneys, all of those different part of your organs, how they're performing. You'll have a coding as to the colors red or green, whether you're on track. But if there's any kind of depletion of anything lacking, then the report will tell you need to take this to actually enhance what you're lacking and come back again. You would be that part would be back on track, yeah. And you also have, we've all got to be trained on that machine to make sure. So the doctors will be training us how to use the machine. But it's a
mm,
full resonance body scan. But we've got the best collagen, Dawn.
of course.
But top collagen. But I'm excited for it because it's a new opening. We've got quite a few people here in the UK that's really they're therapists and people who are thinking, oh, somebody called me yesterday, they're not well, they want to know more. I said, okay. And what we're doing, it's a chain reaction. So like me, I'll have my team, they'll have their team. We all come together as one. Looking for a name now to create as one initiative. So we're united. It's not something where oh, this is it's the M&M kind of thing, but it's not where people get richer than whatever. It's a structured way, but the whole core priority for us is the people you serve, right? It's how we make
Mm,
people have a better or improved health. We're not saying there's no medical claims being made here, but what I see, if you cleanse, we cleanse the body, you restore and you nourish your body. That's the kind of pillars I'm working on. Yeah.
okay.
You wouldn't put
Okay.
oil in a petrol car, would you? But it's all
Mm,
about the people for me. It's all about the community
yeah.
that take the you still take your medication if you got it. But the whole point for me, I want to wean myself off my meds. Yeah. But
Mm,
I'm starting to do that slowly now because I look at what I eat. I'm very fussy with what I eat. Yeah.
okay. Understood. Understood.
Mm,
Okay. Well, I think you're onto a good thing there when you start
mm,
talking about health, and because
mm.
everyone wants to live a long, healthy life.
Yeah, true.
So, well done. And I'm sure you'll tell us more about that once it's launched in the UK.
Yeah, once I get the go ahead, yeah, I will.
Okay. Well, thank you very much, Dr. Eula. It's been really
Thank you,
interesting
Dawn.
talking to you, and well done with what you've achieved. And no doubt you have many more things to do. And you have your parents who you admire very much. It's a picture of your parents. Have you got that?
Well, let me show you my mum. It's my mommy. It's my mommy right there.
Oh,
Lovely lady.
wow. She looks so stylish.
Yeah,
Wow.
she's too stylish. She's like she's royal. That's what I call her. That's my
Oh,
dad, my mum and dad together.
Oh,
And
beautiful.
that's that
Oh,
them at there. We did a surprise party for my mom when she was 60. Yeah. Look,
oh, wow.
see, a seamstress, she makes her stuff, man. That's
Wow,
what she was good.
wow.
That's her speciality. Yeah. One
Okay,
and
okay.
only. The legacy lives on. Yeah.
Oh, well, of course, it lives on through you and your daughter. So
Mhm.
well done.
Thank
Thank you
you.
for your time.
And you. Thanks, Dawn.
And we will give people the link so they can get your book and find
Oh, yeah.
out more about you. I'm sure it's partly autobiographical as well as motivational. So well done.
Yeah. The next one will be coming.
All right,
Yeah.
fantastic. You
Thank
take care.
you. All right, bye bye.